Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Out and About, and today we are in Zihuatanejo where my friend here, Lisa B. Martin, and I both live. And Lisa is an expat turned Zihuatanejoite. She is very, very active in the Zihua community. She is known as Zihuawriter. So she educates, she writes, she teaches, she does workshops, and she also works with children in making sure that children are getting the education and the writing materials that they need.
That's true.
So it's wonderful. So thank you for coming to join me today.
Of course, and she's my neighbor, by the way.
Yes.
And we live in this beautiful neighborhood, and it's really real. This is not green screen.
Yeah, this is not green
really
screen.
Real.
It's
really paradise here.
This is our hood, and just down our road here, down 77 stairs, you'll hit the beach from where we're sitting now.
We can hear the waves in the background.
Yes. Yeah. So Lisa's here today to tell us about her journey in moving from the U.S., a little bit about the process and how she came to be here in Zihua. She's traveled a long time, coming back and forth to Zihua, but now she's made the permanent move.
That's right. It's been a 25-year love affair with Zihuatanejo, and I first came here from Boston when I was busy running my PR firm and being a freelance writer for a yoga retreat. So it was actually a wellness journey that actually brought me here, and I took a lot of pictures, and on that first trip, actually, I began to get interested in the children and the education process here, including the education gap. So that's a segue back into one of my passions, which of course is writing a book about it. But as far as my recent decision to really, pull the plug or plug in, however you want to do it, I was living in the center of America in Wisconsin and had this plan going. And I had a near-death experience during COVID 4 years ago. So it's really a miracle that I'm here and back on track with my dream of living, retiring, writing, creating, and being part of this amazing community.
Think about what you really want.
Well, I always knew I wanted it, and so it's a miracle. It was still in my dream, but you don't think of that when you're in the hospital bed full of tubes and thinking you're going to die. So, there's a point to this, is that you can get through just about anything in life, and this has always been my dream. So never give up on your dream, and major changes or visiting another country or community really awakens things in you that I think sometimes you need to see. And I think that's what happened to me those first few years I came to Zihua. I got involved in education. I felt the love and the beauty of this community and its people. It's the place, it's the people. And it's a nicely blended, indigenous, expat, local community that's got just the right mix of modern, old-fashioned, and incredible natural beauty. So I guess those are all good reasons to come here if you've never been here. But
it really is a feeling.
Yeah, it's a feeling.
Is a feeling.
And there's historical reasons for that. We all know Zihuatanejo means place of many women. Zihua means woman in the Nahuatl language of Aztec. My book that I'm working with is called the Zihua Diaries. Very important. So we are Zihuas, and a while back I chose the Instagram name Zihuawriter, and it stuck and it makes sense, and now I'm really here doing it full time. But my journey landing here started on October 2. I flew in from the Twin Cities with 5 suitcases, 4 of which were full of writing materials and a few pieces of cookware, laptop and a travel printer, and I knew that was enough for me to get started here. And I was lucky enough to rent a quite fully furnished little house here as a starting point. So in my favorite neighborhood. So everything came together really quickly, and I knew I wanted to get here and take advantage of the Residencias program, which worked for me. Unfortunately, it's no longer available, but it made a move for me because I don't own property, I don't have an income level up here. I squeezed in, and I got a 4-year temporary resident visa, and after going into year 5, I can be a resident, unless my conditions change, like I get wealthy, or I want to marry a Mexican man. So, hi, if you're out there. Anyway,
Good plug. Good plug.
don't let, financial obstacles or whatever, stop you from moving into your dream. I've always made my biggest changes by letting most of everything go and making a leap of faith. And it certainly is a great community to come and rent, stay, visit, and go, oh my God, do I feel the love? And then you'll know. So I would say you can test drive this place. And there's amazing breadth of properties to rent and buy here. So that's my story about how I got here, and it's been now 6 months.
Okay, so
no regrets.
No regrets.
No.
So a little bit on your residency program. You did the program that they're now phasing
It's out. It's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so when Brent and I got our residency, we did it on financials, which the
traditional way.
thresholds are going up and up all the time. But we can talk more about that if you need some information on how to be a resident. One thing to keep in mind is if you are only coming for 6 months, you don't need any sort of residency. You can be in Mexico for 6 months as a tourist if you're looking at doing a part-time move.
And you can also go out and come back in and
Yes.
get another 6 months.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways. There's Volaris Airlines. Zihua has a great airport. It's a great place to travel in and around from the States, from Mexico. So that's accessibility, I think, was a big decision for me too. Because, it's just easy to get to and from.
It is.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of, in the high season, there's direct flights from all kinds of places.
Right.
And then there's also easy access to fly within Mexico.
Yeah.
So when we
Rent
go,
cars, take a bus.
Yeah.
Flying is great. Yeah. So
inexpensive
if
to check
this
out
is
the
going to be
country.
your home base, like it is for me, it doesn't mean I'm not leaving. But I'm very happy this is my home base because it has so many lifestyle things I need. The great weather, beach massages for $20, swimming, fantastic organic food. All of that is here. And it is more affordable than most places, I think, depending on how you want to live your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, and I just feel that the creative energy and the opportunity, if you want, to connect to a community cause like SailFest or Save the Turtles or work with animals or me working with education, that's here, as well as an incredible music and cultural vibrancy here. All kinds of events and music on every street corner, and the culture is very hands-on here. So
and it's very, what I really love about Mexico, and you touched on it earlier, is the people. Because it's not that the expats all hang together and then the Mexicans sort of hang together. We all blend. Like it's a culture. I mean, I have just as many Mexican friends here as I do Canadian and American friends. So, and it's just that it's so nice that the way that the cultures blend.
And I would say I have more Mexican friends.
Yeah.
Because of my involvement with public education and the indigenous community, and those are my interests. But learning Spanish came easy to me. Languages are my thing. I teach English where needed to people. So, I'm happy here. I feel like I have a whole extended family of not only expats, but really the indigenous people. And my doctor is here, and my needs can be met. And pharmacy is, you don't need a prescription for most things. There's lots of little benefits that you can figure out when you get here. Like, well, this is really a different place.
Yeah.
And I do think, in general, it's a very healthy lifestyle because you're outdoors most of the time.
Yeah.
And, I spend a lot of time alone in my little writing room, and then I go for a 1 mile swim.
Yeah.
And so that's my Zihuatanejo story. I'm really glad to be here, and I'm working on developing with my Zihuawriter once a week writing group.
Yeah, let's
and
hear
having
about
recently visited the San Miguel de Allende International Literary Festival, at which I'll be a presenter next year in February, is really cultivating people using writing and creative writing on any level for a healing journey, for self-expression. And this is a Seattle friend I'll plug, Bill Kinauer, Fearless Writing. It's a technique I use to connect people's hand, heart, and page to use their voice, find their voice. It's a lot of fun. And I'm planning retreat weeks that are also blended with cultural experiences for creatives, not just for writers. So that's coming up. And,
Everybody has a story to tell in there somewhere, right?
They do. And I think that when you go to another place in a not isolated retreat, but a very community connected experience and culturally connected experience, things really bloom in you. And that's what happened to me, and it happened to me on every single visit that I made over 25 years. I've probably been here 60 times, right?
Okay.
Before you
made
moved.
the move.
And so that's a love affair that will endure. Yeah.
Okay.
Zihuatanejo is my home.
Yeah. But it is, when you get away from the normal hustle bustle of the traditional Western world.
Yes.
I do think that it opens up, opens up your mind to creativity and ideas. It might not be writing, it might be art, it might be music, it might be starting a business. I just think that, you're not bogged down by so much.
No.
Being here, being in an easier lifestyle, that, it leaves room for your brain to grow.
There's a lot of digital nomads here. There are people who bought property here or living here on an extended basis, and they're running their businesses from here.
Yeah.
You meet all kinds of people. Not everyone's retired and going to the golf course. You can do that over in Ixtapa, but I think that the intellectual energy here is really interesting, and that is what's happening with me, with my own creative writing, my own ideas on how to help introduce people to Zihuatanejo, but also this is our time. It's a time of what's our personal growth. My business is called Next Chapter Creative.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, it's all about, it's a blended name, Próximo Capítulo Creativa in Spanish, but it alludes to writing, chapter, book. I do editing work and so on and so forth, and writing coaching work, by the way. But what is this chapter of your life going to be about? And what is your next chapter? And you are writing your life. You are the editor of your life story. And that's a real thing.
I love that concept.
One thing I did during the pandemic and before is I had a downsizing and simplicity coaching business. And I helped people shed lifetimes of belongings and property, whatever the reason was. And I have a little booklet I'm creating called Mastering the Art of Letting Go. Because it's not just about the stuff, everything holds energy, but it's an emotional process. When you want something, to have more space for something, you have to let things go. And we get attached to things. But once you really let things go, you fly like an eagle. You're like, wow, why did I
that's so freeing.
And you need a real estate broker and usually a downsizing consultant or a good bunch of friends or whatever it is to say, yeah, there's another place for me where I can live more simply, more freely, more elegantly, more outdoorsy, whatever your vision is. Don't hesitate to pursue it. You know in your heart what it is. Really, you do. And begin with the end in mind is one of the things I always say. Imagine your dream home in paradise. Imagine going fishing every day or whatever it is that you want to do, wherever it is in the world. It's a villa in Italy or whatever, It's there waiting for you to find it. And I think that the law of attraction is something we have to really use.
Yeah.
And
part of that is writing.
It's writing. It's doing research on the internet. We have almost too much information in front of us. And
sometimes.
I think that you need to pull in a little bit and see what are my 5 or 10 top things that I want to do. Make them big and then take the tiny steps toward those, because you'll learn as you go which avenue. And you'll be amazed. Most of the major changes that I've made in my life, and there's been big ones, I've done it on a shoestring budget when I've been almost out of money, but there it was. There's the place I need to go, and somehow it came together. And
always falls in your lap.
It isn't about
right?
the money. It's about your ambition, and then the resources and the opportunities show up.
Yeah.
So that's my personal story. I'm single, never been married. That's a great sense of freedom. But at the same time, I've always been financially independent, so I have to take care of myself. And here I am. So I'm excited about my next chapter, which involves doing creativity retreats here for people, connecting with other writers, and in the Mexican Spanish-speaking world, too. Because I see my book as bilingual. and I love languages. The conservation of indigenous endangered languages are interesting to me. And we have beautiful history. I just took my writers out to our Zihuatanejo ancient sacred city, 3,000-year-old settlement that's 45 minutes away from here, which explains the history of this amazing Costa Grande region. And you can go there and stand there and travel back in time and go, I see why people lived here. The resources were tremendous, from the coconut palms to the fish to whatever. So I think that Zihuatanejo is not yet hyper developed, and you can find a very organic experience here if you want that, meaning the beach casita on the ocean, or you can, build yourself a designer home. Yeah. You can go either way.
The nice thing about Zihua is that it will retain its authenticity.
I think within our lifetimes, yes.
yes, but yeah. I mean, the way that the geography lies, there's only so far that we can build as well. I mean, we have to start building up in the mountains if we're going, if it grows.
And there's serious conservation and awareness of that among the city fathers. Well, now we have a woman mayor. And I'll just speak up to say, I have been so impressed just within the last 5 years of how many people the city employs, picking up trash 3 times a week, sweeping the streets.
It's the cleanest place in Mexico.
They sift the sand on the beach looking for microplastics. They have a turtle and an animal conservation program. It's amazing. And then urban improvements, not only for the tourists, but for the locals. They are fixing streets. They are improving sewers. They are trying to improve healthcare.
Our new Capricho del Rey, the new street that runs along
public
the ocean.
Access for everybody. And Zihuatanejo is a popular destination for Mexican tourists. And with the new road systems and bus and da-da-da-da-da. So that's what keeps it blended. It's affordable for many people. And we do have, right on Zihua Bay, four beautiful beaches and a historic fishing community. And oh my gosh, if you haven't been here,
you need to go.
Buy a ticket.
You need to go.
Buy a ticket. And then, you will not regret it. No. And then you'll fall in love and you go, okay, what was that woman, Lisa Shannon? They told me about it. And my dream began with this video. So I hope it does. I hope it inspires you. We're here.
Yeah. And, if you are of the creative writing type, definitely, contact Lisa. We'll put her contact information at the end of this video, and in the description, so that if you are wanting to do one of her retreats, tell us a little bit more about the retreat. Is it a 1-day retreat? Is it a 3-day?
Well, there's a local writing literary community here. So once a week, I get people together for 2 or 3 hours, and we move around. We do things on the beach. We do wild writing. We're at Las Gatas. We went out to the pyramid, and some days we just have coffee or wine and write together. And then beyond that, I think a 3 to 5 day experience is kind of optimal, so you can have time to do all the natural things you want to do here. It's not an intensive. I may create that in the future, like a memoir intensive or a poetry. But intensive and Zihua are not. They're not commingled words. They're not synonymous. Yeah. So you're supposed to come here, relax, open up your heart, open up your feelings. And the way I've got my agenda structured is 2 activities a day, and you don't have to do them all. You can do a la carte, or you can do every day the morning writing and the afternoon cultural activity. And it engages galleries, it engages music. There's a food and wine tasting thing. So it's a whole body experience. I think it's a whole sensory experience. It's how I want to offer things. Floating meditation in the ocean, that's anyone can benefit from that. So it'll have a menu. I have 2 Facebook pages, lisabmartin.writer and Write in Mexico. And those agendas are going up. Not a specific time frame on them, but if you're interested at all in that kind of thing, or bringing writers here, or people who have published books and want to be part of a writing experience, it's here. In San Miguel is a few hours away. I just went up there. Hundreds of thousands of writers, and they love Zihua. So there's this time of our life is about what, who we are, what's our story, what can we create, how can we live our best life. in this chapter. It's the question. That's my big question.
Yeah.
And I am so glad I made the move. I no regrets.
That's awesome. I love the concept. It's almost like you said, you touched on the law of attraction. And then when you're writing it out, you're connecting your emotions to pen and paper. And people are learning more about themselves as they write, as they're writing their next chapter.
It's been proven the two most healing activities one can do from trauma or major life change, everyone has that, whether it's a divorce or a health recovery or whatever, are something somatic, which is movement, like yoga, walking in nature, swimming. Move your body, get it going a little bit, even every day.
Yeah.
And even if it's walking out to the mailbox and coming back. And the other is writing, because I've studied with Natalie Goldberg twice. She wrote Writing Down the Bones and revolutionized the way of using pen and page a lot on a daily basis or for writing. You can use a computer, a lot of people do, but it's really the spirit, heart, hand, pen connection, and you'll be amazed at what flows out of your pen, the ink. And so that is heart speak. And I have written a book of poetry, and that's, I think, one of the more purest forms of emotional delivery of a worldly experience. There's a lot of ways to do it, and maybe you're just having fun crafting a fictional murder mystery or something. I just walking here, I met a writer, and he's on vacation here. He's like, oh my God, a writing person. I'm planning to retire here, and the villa's across the road, and I needed to meet you because we could do these writing. I said, yep. So it's funny when you share your little dream and your little story, and other people are drawn to it, and
you start attracting them.
You do,
yeah.
And your interest. Who knows what your interest is? We have a great guy, Ron. Underwater fish photography is his thing. He is an amazing visual storyteller with underwater animals right here in Zihua Bay, and that's another thing you can do. So it isn't always about storytelling, but I think if you're looking for a major life change, check out Zihuatanejo. Why not? I mean, an island in Greece, or maybe a little French villa, village or something could work for me too. Yeah. But I chose Zihuatanejo, and I think it actually chose me. It chose me.
I think those kids that you're working with,
oh yes,
definitely chose you. So before we sign off, let's touch a little bit on the bags that you're handing out to the kids.
I have a bag right here. I won't hold it up, but imagine a little mesh bag that's like a classroom in a bag, and it's called my little program. I just started Grassroots because I care about touching kids where they are. We have a lot of working children here after school during the high season. It's just how it is in Mexico. And then there are kids and families without any learning materials at all. It's a luxury to have a storybook, believe it or not. And I know this. So I put together these little bags and called it Libros para Niños. And in there is a notebook and coloring pencils and a storybook or two, an activity book, a full pencil kit with the scissors and the whole bit, plus toothpaste, soap, and a toothbrush. Because even personal care items, you never saw a kid get excited about a bar of soap. It happens here, and it's great. So little essentials that put learning materials that child can use anytime, and then we get the mothers engaged too. So I'm teaching 3 women how to read right now because they said, thank you for helping my child. I would like to learn to read and write. That's amazing. But we have multiple languages here. Not everybody's first language is Spanish, and I know that. So I work with Mixteco, Tlapaneco, Amuzgo, and Nahuatl people. And those are beautiful languages. But in Mexico culture, it's great to know how to read and write Spanish so you can function in the hospitals, in the pharmacies, whatever you're doing.
In just day-to-day life, you know.
So literacy is my passion. And because being literacy allows you to, being literate gives you voice in your own community.
Absolutely.
And creating learners who are excited about learning. They learn to learn their whole life. That's the key right there. It isn't about memorization or dictation. It's teaching kids to be lifelong learners and being excited about learning through traditional learning materials not all cell phones. You know, there's a place for everything. So we do have a big problem here with cell phone addiction because people are giving babies their cell phones because they have nothing else to give them. And I intervene and start giving them books.
Yeah.
And so it's just my thing, and I can do it. What's nice here about connecting with the community, if I was in the U.S., people would like call the police, right? You're talking to my child.
You're some stranger.
And here they're like, hey, hold my baby. You know, like, hold my baby. Yes, you can take a yes, we'd all like to have ice cream with you.
I've seen it. I've seen it in action, and I have to tell you where we were. We were outside of the fishing hole when a young family walked by, and Lisa had one of her goodie bags with her, and she approached this family and asked if it was okay if she spoke with the child, and the child was very shy at first, but by the end she was smiling like you wouldn't believe.
She was so excited what was in that bag.
And getting the tingles.
No, a book is a world. We know this. You know, I remember the first books and your first reading you ever had. You know, and that when you first learn to read, a whole new world opens up to you. Yes. And you know, I give out individual books now to keep kids going, and then we have another little program. So I'm sure she'll put up my info if you're interested in helping Libros para Niños. $20 buys a whole bag of goodies that, you know, we give away to cultivate learning in this community.
And it's just so heartwarming to witness what Lisa's doing. Among the extra fundraisers and the silent auctions and things that happen to benefit the children as well.
And it's a nice community because it's so hands-on. People are so warm here. Everybody says buenos dias to you. All the time. Buenas noches. The policeman on the corner, the people on the bus. It's
nobody walks by another human without saying buenos dias.
And that's the warm and intimate nature of the Mexican culture that makes me feel good. You know, they're not shut down. They are caring. The family life is, they'll share their last tomato with you. And so anyway, I spend time working on my book in the morning, and then, you know, life is good. Life is good. And I hope, if you haven't been here, you come visit. Yeah. You'll find something about this community.
And nobody comes to Zihua that doesn't fall in love with it.
It's not just about the fantastic margaritas.
No, there are those. There are those, most definitely. So so if you would like to connect with Lisa, whether it's a writing retreat, whether it's you want to help out with the children, all her information will be in the details. And you can contact her directly, or you can contact through me as well. And if you want to learn more about Zihuatanejo, we can certainly help you out with our beautiful community. If you have never been, like Lisa says, please just jump on a plane and get here, because you will just absolutely fall in love with this place. It's like even if you've been to other parts of Mexico. Zihuatanejo is an original. And
it's cultivating a nice cultural experience on many levels for people. It's not just a beach town anymore. So there's it's great. And I was going to say, also, the people who work in the public offices here, like immigration and getting a work permit, they're great. They want us to be here. And so the experience of working with those people is just so fantastic. And it's not as complicated as you think.
Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate you sharing everything about Zihua and everything about your what you're doing here. Stay tuned at the end of the video, because I'm going to have Lisa unpack her little goodie bag as a trailer to this video.
Okay.
So you'll get to see all the wonderful things that she is providing in this community for the children of Zihuatanejo. And the children, I want to mention too, are not all just from Zihuatanejo. There's migrant workers that they come with their families and they work on the streets. So those are the people that she's really helping as well.
Yeah, so absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks so much for watching. And if you haven't, please subscribe to our channel. You'll learn more and more about Zihuatanejo and other parts of Mexico as well, as we do our Out and About series. Thanks so much for watching.
Adios por este momento. Bye.
Hasta luego.
B. Martin, known as Zihuawriter, and Shannon has invited me to show you the contents of this little miracle bag that I created for my literacy program, helping kids on the street, families that need learning materials. Libros para Niños. It's not that complicated, but the goodies in here get a child really excited. We give children sometimes bilingual, beautiful storybooks like this. And most kids don't have a storybook in their home, even if they go to school. Having a book in their home is amazing. Notebooks, so I can give them a little test on how they write, let them practice their letters. We engage by becoming friends on paper. They get a fully loaded little pencil kit here with a sharpener and pencils and everything they need. A little school kit to use at home or wherever they like. Here's another great book. And books are hard for us to get, so smuggle some books in for me. Contact me. And then also in here, we got crayons for the crayon level child, fun little pens and pencils, and most exciting for some kids, really, personal care supplies. This is good. So it's a little school in a bag, I like to think. And even little tiny books like this I can continue giving to children. Keep them reading, keep them excited about learning. And that's what Libros para Niños does every day on the street, helping kids in need and even women learning how to read and write and have a voice in their own future. Libros para Niños.